We broke bones for fun. We ate food that would horrify modern parents. We were handed coins and told to disappear until the streetlights came on. No phones, no tracking, nothing. And somehow, we survived. If you grew up in 1980s UK, your childhood was mental by today's standards. Dangerous games, questionable dinners, total freedom. In this video, I'm counting down 10 memories that prove just how different things were. Things you can't explain to anyone who wasn't there. Stick around. Number 7 will hit you right in the chest. Look, we're not here to pretend the 80s were perfect. They weren't. There were strikes, unemployment, Thatcher, kids getting hurt on playgrounds with no one watching. Mental health wasn't talked about. Safety standards were non-existent. But there were parts of childhood that were genuinely unique. Shared experiences, less supervision, more freedom. These memories stick because we lived them together. We all watched the same 4 TV channels. We all traded the same panini stickers. We all knew the Grange Hill theme tune. That shared experience doesn't exist anymore. Not in an age of infinite choice and personalised algorithms. I grew up in the 80s, same as you. Playing out till the streetlights came on, surviving school dinners, waiting all week for Saturday morning cartoons. These aren't history lessons, they're our memories. If you enjoy hearing about your past, like this video and hit the subscribe button for more videos that will transport you back to your childhood. Saturday morning meant one thing, cartoons, not scrolling through Netflix. Waking up at 7 AM willingly because Transformers was about to start. You'd creep downstairs, pour yourself a massive bowl of Frosties, settle on the carpet in your pyjamas. For 3 glorious hours you weren't going anywhere. Transformers, He-Man, Scooby-Doo, the Smurfs. Whatever ITV or BBC were showing, you watched it. The adverts were part of the experience. You'd memorise the jingles. Debate with your mates on Monday about which toys looked best. If you missed an episode, that was it. No catch-up, no streaming. You just had to wait and hope someone at school could fill you in. Thursday nights, Top of the Pops. After school, Blue Peter or Grange Hill. Television wasn't background noise. It was an event. 4 channels. BBC One, BBC Two, ITV and Channel 4 if you were lucky. Everyone watched the same thing, which meant everyone had the same cultural touchstones. Kids today have thousands of shows instantly, but they don't have that "did you see it?" moment on Monday morning. That shared experience is gone. Saturday mornings weren't just about what we watched. They were also about what we dreamed of owning. Do you remember when the new Argos catalogue arrived? If you just felt a spark of recognition, you're one of us. That catalogue wasn't just mail, it was an event. A thick book full of everything a kid could want. It might as well have been the Bible. You'd sit down with a pen, start circling everything. BMX bikes, Transformers, Care Bears, Rubik's Cubes, everything. Your parents would look at your selections, about 40 items circled, and suggest, maybe pick 3. Then the negotiation began. You'd rank them, cross some out, circle others harder. Then came the trip to Argos, standing in that shop, filling out the slip with the stock number, waiting by that conveyor belt, heart pounding, watching the numbers flash up. When your number appeared and that item came rolling out, pure magic. Here's what people forget. The Argos catalogue wasn't just about wanting stuff, it was about imagination. You didn't have YouTube unboxing videos. You had one grainy photo, maybe a line of description. Transforms from robot to vehicle, batteries not included. So you filled in the gaps yourself. You imagined what playing with it would be like, how your mates would react. Half the joy was in the anticipation, not the actual owning. In the catalogue, in your imagination. It was always perfect. Christmas morning especially was magic. School dinners in the 80s were an experience. Some days you'd get lucky. Fish fingers and chips, chocolate sponge with chocolate custard. Other days it was liver and onions, mystery meat stew, something they called mince that looked like it came from a factory floor. But nothing divides 80s kids more than pink custard, that thick, lukewarm, artificial strawberry custard. You either loved it or you'd do anything to avoid it. No middle ground. The dinner hall was a scene. Metal trays, plastic cups, dinner ladies in hairnets slopping food onto your plate, turkey Twizzlers, shepherd's pie with crispy mashed potato on top, fish fingers every Friday, jam roly-poly, which everyone called Dead Man's Arm, cornflake tart with golden syrup, hot sponge swimming in bright yellow custard. If you were smart, you'd trade. Your pudding for someone's crisps at break. The dinner hall had its own economy. Here's what's interesting. Everyone remembers school dinners being terrible, and they were. But those meals created shared memories for an entire generation. We all ate the same bizarre food. We all negotiated with dinner ladies for extra chips. We all tried to hide vegetables under our forks. The food might have been questionable, but it was our questionable food. Some of us miss it. Not because it was good, but because it was part of belonging. After surviving dinner, there was only one thing on your mind: getting outside for break. British Bulldog was less a game and more a test of survival. If you don't know what British Bulldog is, you didn't grow up in 80s UK. Here's how it worked. One kid, the Bulldog, stood in the middle of the playground. Everyone else lined up at one end. The goal? Run to the other side without getting caught. If the Bulldog tackled you, you became a Bulldog too. Round after round, more Bulldogs and fewer runners. Until eventually, it was one kid sprinting for their life while half the playground tried to flatten them. On grass, it was rough. On concrete, absolutely brutal. Kids breaking bones was so common that schools eventually banned it. But until then, it was playground law. If you were small, you prayed for speed. If you were big, you became a bulldozer. British Bulldog wasn't always fair. Sometimes it became an excuse for bigger kids to target smaller ones, for grudges to get settled under the guise of just playing. Teachers would stand on the sidelines, barely watching. No helmets, no padding, just concrete and chaos. Now, people love to say 80s childhood was tougher, that kids today are too soft. But let's be honest, British Bulldog caused spinal injuries, broken bones, even at least one death. We weren't braver, we just had less health and safety oversight. The game was thrilling because it was dangerous. We were just unsupervised. After battling in the playground, there was one place we could escape to, our version of our digital worlds. Getting a ZX Spectrum or Commodore 64 for Christmas felt like stepping into the future. Your family's first computer, you'd connect it to the telly, pop in a cassette tape, yes, a cassette tape, and press play. Then you'd wait, and wait. That screeching, whining sound of the tape loading, like a robot having a breakdown. You'd sit there, half convinced it wasn't working, half hypnotised by the flashing lines. 20 minutes later, if you were lucky, the game would load. If the tape was dodgy, if your little brother bumped the table, start again, another 20 minutes. And when the game finally loaded, it was glorious. Manic Miner, Jet Set Willy, Chucky Egg, graphics that were basically a few pixels, beeps and boops for sound. But to us, magic? Your bedroom, or the shared bedroom with your sibling, transformed into an arcade. Here's what people don't understand. We take graphics for granted now. PlayStations, PCs, graphics that look like real life. Back then, the internet didn't exist. Not for normal people anyway. The poor graphics didn't bother us because we didn't know anything better existed. Our imaginations filled in the gaps. A few pixels and some beeps. That was a spaceship, an alien, an entire adventure. That patience, sitting there for 20 minutes while a game loaded, feels almost alien now. Everything's instant today. We learned to wait, to appreciate what we had because it took so long to get it. When we weren't glued to our spectrums, we had another obsession. Sunday evening was serious business. The top 40 was on Radio 1, and you were sitting there with your cassette player, finger poised on the record and play buttons, waiting for your song. Maybe it was Wham, or Duran Duran, or Kylie. The key was timing. Hit record too early and you'd catch the DJ's voice. Ruined. Hit it too late and you'd miss the intro. Also ruined. And if the DJ talked over the ending, absolutely ruined. You'd have to wait another week, hope the song charted again. Your music collection was whatever fit on a C90 tape. 45 minutes each side, 90 minutes total. You'd label them in your best handwriting. My tape, 1987. Then you'd play them on your Walkman, over and over until the tape got worn and wobbly. Trading mixtapes was a thing too. The 80s version of sharing a Spotify playlist. Except it took hours and required actual effort. Now, we complain about Spotify algorithms, but here's the truth. We worked hard for our music. Every song on your tape was there because you chose it, waited for it, captured it. You'd listen to the whole tape, not just skip to your favourites, because rewinding and fast-forwarding was a hassle. We had fewer songs, but we knew them inside out. Every lyric, every guitar riff. Music was one way we defined ourselves, but nothing said, "This is who I am," quite like what came next. If you had a full Panini album, you were royalty. Everyone else, peasants. Panini sticker albums were massive in the 80s. Football stickers mainly. The World Cup. The League. But there were others too. TV shows. Wrestling. You'd spend every bit of pocket money on packs. 10 pence. 20 pence. Rip them open. Hope for the ones you needed. Then came the trading. You'd meet your mate in the playground, both carrying your albums and your stack of swaps. Flip through your album. Got, need, got, need, got. Then the negotiations began. I'll give you 2 commons for that shiny. No chance. Shiny for shiny only. Deal. It was serious business. The kid who had the shiny ones had power. They could demand whatever they wanted. Some kids were strategic. They'd hoard the good swaps. Others were generous. They'd just give you the sticker because they already had it. And there were always kids who'd somehow completed their albums by March. We suspected them of having wealthy parents or insider connections with the newsagent. The rest of us? We'd be 200 stickers in by June and nowhere close. You'd have 17 duplicates of the same goalkeeper from Norwich. But that one striker from Everton never appeared. Panini stickers taught us economics before we sat in a classroom, supply and demand, negotiation skills, the sunk cost fallacy. It wasn't just about collecting, it was about strategy, trading, social capital. The kid who had the sticker you desperately needed, they wielded real power. The playground had its own economy. But there was one shop that defined our weekends. Saturday shopping meant one thing, Woolworths. And if you'd been good, you'd get to fill a pick and mix bag. That wall of sweets was paradise. Rows of compartments, little plastic scoops hanging off the side. You'd grab a paper bag, stand there and strategize, because you paid by weight. You'd stand there, little scoop in hand, carefully selecting, eyes flicking between the sweets and your bag, calculating. And, yes, we all ate a few while filling it. Everyone did it. It was basically a tax for good behaviour. Sometimes your mum would notice. Have you been eating those? No, you'd mumble, mouth full of cola bottles. She didn't believe you, but she let it slide. Woolworths wasn't just about the pick and mix though, it was a community hub. Your parents would browse the music section, you'd explore the toys. Everyone left with a little red plastic bag of something. The store had a smell too, kind of sweet, kind of plasticky, a bit musty. But if you grew up in the 80s, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When Woolworths closed in 2008, it wasn't just a business failing, it was the end of an era. No modern equivalent captures that mix of affordability, variety, and nostalgia. Sure, you can buy sweets in supermarkets now, pre-packaged, pre-weighed, but it's not the same. There's no strategy, no sneaking a couple while your mum's not looking. There was always one kid on your street who had everything. The latest transformer, a BMX with proper pegs, maybe a remote-controlled car. The rest of us? Hand-me-downs and birthday presents. But everyone had a Rubik's Cube. It was the toy that promised to prove you were a genius. But mostly, it just ended up unsolved on a shelf. A few kids could do it. They'd memorise the patterns, show off at school. The rest of us? We'd twist it randomly, get frustrated, and give up. Some kids peeled the stickers off and rearranged them. We called that cheating, but secretly, we all considered it. The 80s had massive toy crazes. Transformers, My Little Pony, Care Bears, Cabbage Patch Kids. Cabbage Patch Kids were mental. People rioted in shops trying to get them. Actually, rioted. Parents fighting over dolls with weird faces and adoption certificates. If you had a Cabbage Patch Kid, you were the coolest kid in school. For about 2 weeks anyway. BMX bikes were huge too. If you had one, especially with pegs, you were basically a celebrity. The rest of us had hand-me-down bikes, rusty chains, dodgy brakes, but we still rode them everywhere. Here's the thing about 80s toys. We played with them until they broke. There was no unboxing culture, no keeping things mint in packaging for resale. You got a transformer for Christmas, you transformed that thing 1,000 times. Until the joints went loose, until bits fell off. Toys were for playing with, not preserving. That made them more valuable. Because they weren't just objects, they were companions, tools for imagination. That transformer wasn't just a toy, it was a character in your games, a hero, a villain, until it broke. Then you moved on. But there was one thing that defined 80s childhood above all else. Summer evenings in the 80s had a rhythm. After tea, you'd head out. Grab your BMX, your skateboard, or just your mates. The rule was simple. Be back when the streetlights come on. That's it. That was the only rule. No mobile phones, no tracking apps. Your parents genuinely didn't know where you were for hours, and that was normal. You'd ride your bike through alleyways, play football in the street, build dens in wasteland or woods, explore the neighbourhood. The first streetlight would flicker on. You'd see it. Your stomach would drop a bit. You had maybe 20 minutes. You'd say goodbye to your mates, hop on your bike, pedal home as fast as you could. Walk through the door. "You all right?" your mum would ask. "Yeah, good. Go wash your hands for tea." That was it. No interrogation, no GPS check, just trust. Now, everyone romanticizes this freedom. Kids today don't know what they're missing. We had real childhoods, but let's be honest, we weren't safer. Crime rates in the 80s were actually higher than now. Kids got hurt, kids got lost, bad things happened. There were no helmets when we rode bikes, no knee pads for skateboarding, less safeguarding at schools, harsher discipline. What we had was less awareness of danger, and parents who were more hands-off. Partly by choice, partly because they had no way to track us. It felt freer, but it wasn't objectively better, just different. Kids today have their own challenges: cyberbullying, social media pressure, screen addiction. We had different challenges: physical danger, less supervision. Neither is perfect. Pretending ours was some golden age does nobody any favours. But still, there was something about that freedom, that trust, that rhythm of summer evenings. Something we remember, something we miss. None of these memories are earth-shattering on their own. Pink custard, pick and mix, loading a game for 20 minutes. They're small, ordinary things, but together, they form the texture of our childhoods. We remember them because we lived them collectively. We all watched the same 4 channels. We all risked broken bones playing British Bulldog. We all waited by the Argos conveyor belt with sweaty palms. These weren't grand moments. They were rituals, routines, shared experiences, and that's what makes them special. The 80s weren't perfect, not even close, but they were ours. Maybe we miss the 80s because it was the last time we were truly offline. Or maybe we just miss being young. Either way, these memories aren't about wishing we could go back. They're about appreciating where we came from, about recognising what shaped us, about belonging to something bigger than ourselves, a generation, a moment in time, one that's gone now, but not forgotten. So here's my question for you. Which one of these memories hit hardest? Were you Team ZX Spectrum or Commodore 64? Did you love or loathe pink custard? What's one memory I missed that instantly takes you back to 80s school life? Drop your answers in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. If this trip down memory lane resonated with you, I've got a 60s version that's equally packed with nostalgia. And a 90s one coming soon. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll see you in the next one.